Hard times are here, no doubt about that. What is left for debate is the way out. Now, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is seeking urgent intervention from the federal government to support production of goods as diesel prices soared above 720 naira per litre. And speaking in Ibadan, the chairman of the Association of Oyo, Osun, Ekiti and Ondo zone, Lanre Popoola, said that the increase in prices of petroleum products and lack of power supply are crippling production in every sector. Now, Popoola noted that if the situation persists, it could worsen the economy and increase hardship among Nigerians. Meanwhile, bakers under the aegis of a Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria are threatening total shutdown of operations following rising cost of diesel in the past few days. Well, the president of PBAN, Emmanuel Onwara, warned that a total shutdown of operations by bread makers is imminent due to the continued rise in the price of diesel and other commodities. Now, Tunde, let's quickly examine this matter. It's a dire situation we are in right now with the cost of diesel rising high. Well, this is partly due to the rising prices of crude oil since the Russian-Ukraine war began. Now, what do you think are the likely implications and consequences, seeing that the Bread Makers Association are also threatening a total shutdown because of the price of diesel?
Well, to tell you already, before increasing the price, bread is already out of the reach of the common man. I have to be sincere. Before you can buy a bread now, you buy a bread for 200 naira now. It's not enough for a 2-year-old boy. You will devour it in your presence. A bread of 200 naira, a 2-year-old can devour it. So you can see the extent to which the economy has come down. But what I just think is that, you see, we are suffering for lack of vision by our leaders. Nigeria is supposed to be reaping bountifully from what is happening in the between Ukraine and Russia. But unfortunately, today, like a friend was telling me, called from Chicago last week and said a liter of fuel now sells for $3. That is in an economy where they have many alternatives to transportation if you want to take your car out. Now, which means is that even when you buy $3 in Nigeria, how much is $3 in Nigeria per liter? That is about 1,200.
Okay, 1,200.
1,500 per liter. Yeah. So what it means is that we now take our crude down there. For as long as the price of crude is going up in the international market, we continue talking about subsidy here because NNPC has no capacity to begin to continue to subsidize. So there is no end to subsidy unless there is a refinery. But we have a government that promised that they will fix the refinery since 2015. This is 7 years going now. I want to tell you that only last year they said they signed a contract for $1.5 billion to retool our refinery, turn around maintenance. I want to assure you, I have been hearing of them since when I was in secondary school. I don't know what they have turned around at all. So if you are spending $1.5 billion to turn around 3 refineries and somebody Dangote can build a refinery within 5 years, I think something is wrong with us. We cannot maintain a refinery and you keep the refinery in abeyance. I don't know what government is going to use to campaign to Nigerians next year because they promised to build 4 refineries. The Kaduna refinery is totally dead. The Port Harcourt and which is the other one? Warri refinery, they are producing below capacity. And what we hear is that Nigeria had a part with Niger. Niger had a refinery that is refining 200,000 barrels per day, and what Niger only need is 50,000 barrels, which means the 150,000 barrels is going to be exported back to Nigeria. In Nigeria, that was loaning money to Turkey and some other things. Something definitely is wrong with our leadership system, and it is incompetence. It is incompetence.
The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria is also asking the government for an urgent intervention with regards to the rising cost of diesel. And they're also raising concerns about the level of power supply in the country. If we have constant power supply, perhaps we wouldn't be relying on diesel, wouldn't you think?
Esther, I was general manager of a medium-sized textile factory for 10 years. And I also managed the accounting function, as well as being the general manager. So this, just listen to me. There are some things called boilers. Whether you are using generator or NEPA, boilers consume diesel.
Right.
That is staple for manufacturing companies, textile, breweries, all kind of boilers. There is steam boiler, there is oil burner. That one is burning oil. It's burning diesel directly.
So is it that the power supply from the
it
national
supplies
grid
the
cannot...
machine to start? No, it's those. You have a printing machine. You have a boiler that powers the printing machine. So the printing machine cannot work on its own without the boiler powering it.
Right.
So the boiler drinks fuel, drinks diesel to start with. Okay? Now, so your cost of energy is twofold or threefold. The cost of the diesel or black oil sometimes, because that one is cheaper, to power the boilers or the oil burner. That one, when you hear oil burner, that one is burning oil. Boiler boils water, the steam that powers those machines. Now, that one, whether you are using generator or whatever, you are paying for, you are burning diesel to start with. Now, our what we call PHCN, or I don't even know what is the name these days of these things that we.
PHCN.
You see, it's PHCN. Okay.
Power holding company.
And they actually hold the power, really. You know, so this, when I was running this medium-sized textile factory, we were paying what is estimated bill, whether we run
it or not. Whether there's a fixed bill that you have to
we are paying, and then the generator is the electricity. NEPA is standby. We were working, running purely on
diesel.
So now, if you are running a manufacturing factory and the cost of energy, it is just one of the costs.
Cost of one of the variable costs.
It's already 40 to 50%. You are running at a loss. I can tell you for free, you are running at a loss. If you have, and sometimes if you are not careful, well, except it's a service industry. Whereas insurance company, advertising agency, banks, yes, you have higher bills for running but where you are manufacturing widgets, if the unit cost, you have 40 to 50 to 60%, sometimes 80%, you're already running at a loss to start with. So that is a problem that we have. It's built in, except for high capacity industries. And so these people that are talking, the manufacturing associations, what they are saying, they are actually crying. This thing, what they say they are talking about, they are crying because they are locked in. They can't escape from where they found themselves, and the government's policy is not helping. We do not have proper, relevant macroeconomic policies in this country. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, who is supposed to be running the economy, she is missing in action. We don't even know if she's there. I don't even remember her name. Then the governor of Central Bank, whose job is just to manage monetary policies, is the one running macroeconomic policies. And the man is getting confused.
All right, let's quickly click Zoom call. We have, for more insight on this issue, is the National President of the Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria, Emmanuel Onora. Good to have you on the program this evening. So we understand that the Premium Bakers Association is threatening to shut down operations following the rising cost of diesel in the past few days. Fill us in on how soon this might take effect and the possible implications of this.
Good evening, Esther. Good evening, Mr. Tunde Abata and Lekon Shote, and good evening, viewers at home. For the premium bread making industry and the bread making industry generally in Nigeria today, we find ourselves in a very precarious situation where in the next 1 week or two, if care is not taken, businesses will begin to shut down. As I talk with you now, some of my members, I just got the information today from my PRO, that's my Public and Industrial Relations Officer, that about 5 or 6 of them shut down today. What does it portend for the country? exacerbation of the already precarious unemployment problem. You know, when this whole brouhaha started, before now, we were buying diesel at $3.50 per barrel. And fortuitously, one of my members predicted that if care is not taken, that diesel will be going for 1,000 naira by the end of this month. Last week, the price jacked up from $3.50 per liter to 410. In that same week, it rose to 450. From 450 by Monday, by Saturday, it was already 850. Yes. So, and diesel is a key component of the energy we use in running our bakeries. We use diesel to power our generators. Of course, like Leko was saying, there is no power anywhere. In fact, in my bakery for the past 3 weeks, I've never had a public light. I've been running on diesel 24/7. We run our delivery vans because we do a lot of deliveries. We run our delivery vans using diesel. And then most importantly, we run our oven. Our oven is powered dually. We use about 80% of our diesel to burn your burners, to be able to power and bake your bread.
Boiler.
And then a little component of electricity to it. So you can see that it is a huge part of what we use in producing and churning out bread for Nigerians. So as I speak to you now, at 850 naira per liter of diesel, it's a no-brainer. Businesses are certainly going to shut down. And for the Premium Bread Makers Association of Nigeria, we're just putting the government on the know. It's not hearsay. We are going to shut down. That's the truth, because we can't do anything any longer. There's no power. Last week they increased flour by 1,000 naira. Flour is going to about 22,500 to 23,000 in certain areas. Of course, that makes up about 65-70% of our inputs. Sugar increased from 21,000 to 23,500. You can see this whole thing comes together. It comes to a head and is giving us a lot of problem in the businesses. There is no business that can survive without being profitable.
All right, with this rising cost implications, pardon me for interrupting your flow of thoughts there. With this rising cost you've outlined so far, are we also looking at the rise in the price of bread?
It goes without saying.
Well, you have to pass on your costs. But for how long can you keep doing this? As Nigerians and as corporate citizens in this country, we have brothers and sisters that are out there. The fact that we own bakery does not mean that we are divorced from the sufferings of the average Nigerian of today. If I may ask you a question, Esther, how much do you think a bread can go for? A sliced bread in some places now is going for as much as 750 naira. Expendable income in people's pocket has vanished. Yes. The government has not even done anything to increase the minimum wage. So people are suffering. If you look at people's faces on the road, people are looking very forlorn. People are looking very angry. People are very agitated. You understand me? Any little thing, you see people resort to brow, fisticuff everywhere. Why? Because people are frustrated. Bread is a staple that is meant to be in the table of every Nigerian. It's not supposed to be something that is a luxury. It's a basic, it's a staple. But to be very honest, bread will soon go out of the table of the average Nigerian, because it is not when you produce that you can even sell. When we shut down and we cannot produce, we are not profitable, we are not charity organizations. What do you expect? You understand?
So let's go on a quick break. Mr. Emmanuel, apologies, I have to hold your thoughts there. We need to go on a very quick break. We'll have more discussions on this very issue when we return after the break. Do stay with us.
The Nigerian Army wishes to inform the public and all interested qualified candidates of the commencement of online registration for 83 regular recruits intake for non-tradesmen and women into the Nigerian Army. Applicant must be single and Nigerian citizen by birth and must possess national identity card, national identification number, and BVN. All applicants must be medically, physically, and psychologically fit and free of any criminal conviction by the court of law. Applicants must possess at least 4 passes in not more than 2 sittings in WASI, GCE, or NECO at O level, including English language. An applicant must possess a valid birth certificate or valid age declaration. Applicant must not be less than 18 years and not more than 22 years as at commencement of training by 8 August 2022. Applicants must possess a valid certificate of state of origin. Interested candidates are advised to log on to the Any Recruitment website to complete online registration from 7th March to 13th May 2022. Selected candidates will participate in the state recruitment screening exercise from 28th June to 11th July 2022. The application form for enlistment into the Nigerian Army is free. Join the Nigerian Army and contribute professionally to the defeat of all adversaries. Brigadier General Umar Abubakar, Director, Directorate of Army Recruitment, Resettlement and Reserve. Announcer.
Not 1, not 2, but 3 reasons why Provest is best for you. 1. You save up to 22% on your payment. 2. You get to save and invest. To save or invest. 3. In just 9 months, you get your land and documents hassle-free. Rollout Provest is for you who is looking for a tangible return on your investment while saving costs.
Hurry now. Visit www.rolloutproperties.com/Provest to get started. Remember, the best time to buy land is now.
Welcome back. You're still on to Journalist Hangout, and we've been examining the rising price of diesel and the threat by the Premium Bakers Association to shut down operations over the rising cost of the product in the past few days. So before we come to our guest who is online, Mr. Emmanuel Onwara, let me quickly have your position on this, Mr. Likon Shote. What's your position on how things are have been handle or gearing up in this past few days, where we have diesel, getting out of reach of the common man, and the premium bread makers are threatening to shut down, which invariably will have a massive effect on not just the economy, but on the common man as well.
I just hope we won't have bread riots. Listen, bread, there was a time I was out of job. The most basic thing I was eating was bread and akara.
That is within reach.
Yes, that was the most basic thing within reach, until I was able to get myself out of where I found myself. You see, so if bread is out, people are going to start falling down dead, hungry on the streets if there's no bread, because there are no farms. I hope you know that people are going to be killing people when they go to their farms. There's insecurity all over the farms throughout the country. I have a friend. He has 1,000 acres, 1,000 acres of cotton farm somewhere in the north. He told me in 2017 that I don't go to farm again. I said, why? He has a ginning factory, a ginning machine, to turn the thing into yarn. He says that he cannot go. I said, why? I didn't know that Boko Haram had infiltrated the whole place. So these people, we are going to look at, we are going to be starving very, 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 very soon. The way we are running our system, the way we are running this country, or the way we are not running this country, because I don't see anybody in charge of anything in this country.
No, nothing.
So there is insecurity in the rural areas. Farms are in the rural areas; they are not in the cities. And so people, you can't even go and grow things in your farm now and you cannot eat bread. And what Mr. Onoa has not told us is that a lot of people are losing their jobs. Those hands that they are employing
in the factory,
to put the bread in, to bring it out, to wrap it. Listen, I like sliced bread. There's a place I go to. When I go there, I say I want sliced. They say they don't have NEPA. Therefore, they cannot cut the bread. So I will go away. I will come back 2 days after. I have to buy the bread agege and take it home. Do you understand? things are...
I prefer the agege bread.
Yeah, things... Oh, you, okay. So things are getting closing up on us gradually, on all fronts. And this, I like the idea that this diesel thing is called energy. Energy is what you use to, in physics, is what you use to power whatever.
Right.
Do you understand? And then where you have energy sitting down, that is what they call potential energy. But when it starts to move, that is when we are at the stage of potential energy right now. Our energy is not taking us anywhere. Listen, there is war in Ukraine right now. We have gas. I would have thought that our government would be proactive and start loading tankers to take gas to some of these European countries. But here we sit down, nobody is even addressing, nobody is even talking about it.
Let's quickly have your thoughts on this situation, Mr. Baton. You know, we understand, like we rightly said before the show started, that Nigeria has about 4 or 5 refineries not totally functioning and not able to meet the daily consumption, yet we import all the fuel we consume. Now, this already adds to the rather worrying situation. Already, Dangote refinery promises to start running at the third quarter of this year, yes. And perhaps maybe 2023 next year. But with the dynamics, what's going on right now? With the level of which petrol or crude oil is on the rise, how can we quickly nip this in the bud, seeing that it's going to affect a vast areas in our economy?
You see, it's unfortunate that people fail to plan. Nobody planned to fail. But government has failed to plan. If government has no vision, there's no way they can plan. One would have expected that the government that came here, I keep on saying in 2015 and said, we have 3 refineries that are not working. And we are going to build more refineries. Since 2015 up to today, they have not built a single one. If all the refineries are working, the 3 are working, it is enough to produce the capacity that is needed in Nigeria on the home front. But now, we still have to transport the crude out and buy the refined products at the current prevailing price in the market. So there's no way the NNPC can continue selling for you if they are buying it for $2 or $2.5 to ship it here. How can they sell it for you 165 naira here? So the situation is going to be grimmer. We are not being alarmist here. We are dealing with the reality of the situation, because nobody can say for sure when the crisis between Russia and Ukraine will be over. For as long as the crisis is there, the price of fuel in the international market will keep on going up, and the cost of importing those fuel by the NNPC.
So what's the short-term solution?
Well, the short-term solution, I don't know whether we can build a refinery. I don't know whether we can build a refinery.
It takes some time to do.
It's not possible to build a refinery. Well, the Dangote that we are expecting.
Yeah, let's just wait. But I think, in addition to this, all those people, the landing cost of importing petroleum products is one. It's another cost. Those human beings who are working in NNPC and are not producing anything, they are getting paid. They are going on leave. They are getting salaries. They are getting leave bonus. They are getting.
Let's quickly get the thoughts of Emmanuel before we end the show. Mr. Emmanuel, you are still online, I believe. Well, quickly give us your final thoughts on what could be the best way to handle this situation.
Thank you very much, Esther. The best way to handle this situation is that government should come to our aid. Government should see what to do, because when you have energy mix in anything you are doing, it gives a lot of leverage to that industry. We depend solely on diesel. If the government on its part, could make the refineries in Nigeria work. If the 4 refineries in Warri, 1 in Warri, 2 in Port Harcourt and 1 in Kaduna are up and running today, and we are not import dependent, I don't think we'll find ourselves in this kind of situation we are finding ourselves. This is a wake-up call to the federal government that they must begin to look inward, because whether you like it or not, if we begin to add the current insecurity that we are facing in this country to food insecurity, it exacerbates and cause a lot of distortion to this country. It's a country we love. It's a country we want to make progress. So the government, the federal government especially, must step up to its plate and ensure that the energy that Nigeria requires is domiciled in country and not depending on external vagaries.
All right, and that's a fine place to leave it. Mr. Emmanuel Onwara, National President of the Premium Bakers Association of Nigeria. We appreciate your insights with us on Journalist Hangout. And I also like to thank my guests in the studio with me, Lekon Shote and Tunde Abaton. It's a pleasure to have your thoughts as usual on the program. And that's about it on Journalist Hangout. Don't forget to join us again tomorrow for another episode. You can watch a repeat broadcast of the show tonight at 11 and join us again on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. We are also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Esther Mokwariola. Bye for now and God bless Nigeria.